Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books. Let's get started.
All right.
Okay, so let's unpack this. You handed us Mitch Albom's novel twice, and our mission is to, cut through the nested timelines, the
The
confessions.
emotional cost of it all.
Right. To deliver a clear understanding of one man's complicated life, or, well, his many lives.
Exactly. And this deep dive isn't a linear story. It's almost built backwards. We start in a Bahamian interrogation room.
With a man named Alfie Logan.
Yeah. And he's literally dying of a neurological disease. He's being questioned by a Detective Laporta for winning an impossible amount of money at roulette.
Over $2 million.
$2 million. And then he wires it all to a woman named Gianna Rule, which, looks incredibly suspicious.
And the hook here is just fantastic. Alfie doesn't ask for a lawyer.
No.
He just slides a composition notebook across the table. He calls it his confession, says it's a love story for the boss.
And inside that notebook is the claim that sort of explains everything. Alfie Logan gets to do everything twice.
It's the ultimate setup.
It really is. So Alfie has this ability to hit a temporal reset button. He can trigger a do-over for almost any event just by thinking the word twice and tapping his body.
And this is but it's not a superpower you can just abuse. The rules are brutal.
That's the key constraint we have to hit right away, isn't it? He has to live out the second timeline forward. In real time.
No fast forwarding.
None. So if he jumps back 3 years, he has to experience all 1,095 of those days again.
Which forces him to feel the actual cost of his choices. It's not a freebie.
Absolutely not. And that necessity of living with the consequences is really the whole point of the book.
So where does it all start? How does he find this out?
It starts when he's 8 years old, back in 1966. He's living in Kenya, and he meets this little girl he calls Princess.
Who we later learn is Gianna.
Right. But then something terrible happens. His mother dies, very suddenly, from a pulmonary embolism while he's out playing.
And that grief, that intense feeling of, if only I'd been there, is what triggers the first jump. Accidentally.
Exactly. He's suddenly back an hour earlier, totally confused. And his mother. She understands what's happened. She reveals the power is familial.
And this is where we get limit number one, and it's the harshest of them all.
It is. Mortality's fixed. His mother warns him, you can change the how, but you can never, ever change the when.
So even though he stays inside with her in that do-over holding her hand,
She still dies. At the exact same predestined time. He learns right away that the power is completely useless against fate.
wow, what a first lesson.
Yeah. So after they move back to the U.S., Alfie enters his teen years, armed with this, consequence-erasing tool.
And he uses it for everything. Mouthing off to his dad, acing a pop quiz.
Undoing a broken bone. There's this whole section on the witch's house dare where he takes these huge risks just for the thrill, knowing he can reset any injury. He gets sort of addicted to it.
Which leads him straight into limit number two, what the source calls the Clark Kent problem.
Right, the lion dare.
Yeah.
He wants to impress a girl, Esther, at the zoo.
So he jumps into the lion exhibit, has this incredibly brave, adrenaline-fueled moment staring down a lion, and then just jumps back to safety before anyone gets hurt.
But then he lives out the second timeline and he realizes
Nobody saw it.
nobody saw it. His heroic action is gone, erased from public record. Only he remembers the Superman moment. To everyone else, he's just...
Stuck as the boring, normal Clark Kent.
Exactly. It completely undercuts any, vanity in using the power.
What's so interesting, though, is how the power shifts here. It goes from being a tool for self-preservation to a weapon for manipulation.
Yes. He stops fixing his own minor mistakes and starts deliberately rewriting other people's lives. Which brings us to Adeline.
He's fiercely protective of his late mother's memory. So when his dad is about to meet a woman named Adeline at a bowling league night,
A meeting that would lead to marriage.
and Adeline potentially taking down his mom's photo, Alfie acts.
And he doesn't just, hide his dad's car keys. He causes a minor skateboarding accident, gets himself hospitalized, just to make sure his dad is stuck there with him during that bowling night.
He completely prevents the marriage from ever happening.
It's a defining moment. He chooses his own sentimentality over his father's potential happiness. He thinks he can just control everything.
And that belief gets tested in a big way with the Joanne Donegan experiment.
Oh, yeah. His friend Wesley gives him this advice. Treat the first timeline not as a life, but as a research opportunity.
So that's what he does. He dates Joanne, learns everything about her.
Her favorite music is David Bowie, loves the musical Pippin. She's into guys with sideburns.
So he jumps back an entire year, and for that whole year, he just prepares.
He practices basketball 4 hours a day to become the star athlete she'd like. He grows the perfect sideburns. He basically manufactures himself into her perfect guy.
And it works.
It works, but the romance is hollow. It's short-lived. It feels fake because it was.
And the cost of that manufactured perfection reveals limit number 3, the unintended ripple.
This one is devastating. He notices that a girl named Lizzie Clark, who had this really genuine, strong crush on him in the original reality,
In a new timeline.
has zero interest. Absolutely nothing.
So he didn't just change his path. He permanently altered the free will, the actual feelings of other people. He erased her genuine love for him.
The butterfly effect isn't just about traffic jams,
No,
It's about someone else's heart.
and that creeping fear that he's losing more than he's gaining, it leads to the absolute crucible of this power. Limit number 4.
The Wesley paradox.
His best friend, Wesley, joins the Marines. He's slated to be part of that incredibly dangerous 1975 Cambodia incident.
And Alfie feels he has to use the power for good, to save him. So he jumps back. He actually tells Wesley his secret.
Wow.
And convinces him to take a much safer training center job stateside. Alfie thinks, okay, I've finally beaten fate.
But he hasn't.
Not even close. 5 months later, Wesley dies in a freak boiler explosion in the training center's basement.
And here's the gut punch detail.
He died the exact same minute that the battle in Cambodia was taking place.
The universe demanded its payment.
Yeah. Alfie learns he can change the how and the where, but never, ever the when. Mortality is fixed. Period.
So that failure, it forces him to kind of stop trying to manipulate life and just look for something real.
Which brings him back to Gianna.
He ends up in Miami, and he runs into his childhood friend, Princess, who is now Gianna Rule.
And he just knows. She's it. She's the star in his sky, and he follows her all the way to college in Boston.
And he pursues her, which leads to this incredibly vivid scene in the book.
The Gimbel's kiss.
They get trapped in a jammed revolving door at a department store during a thunderstorm. It's spontaneous, it's romantic.
And he finally just pours his heart out.
And she says yes. She reciprocates. She calls the moment perfect. He's never been happier.
But then, the consequence flashes in his mind. If he takes his father's car for their next date, his dad will get into an accident and be crippled for life.
So he has to choose his father's legs or this perfect love story.
And he chooses sacrifice. He immediately jumps back, cancels a date, saves his father.
But erases the perfect moment.
Yeah.
And erases her love for him from her memory.
It's just gone.
Yeah.
That loss drives him to find his grandmother, Yaya Nina, who also had the power.
And she delivers limit number 5, the final crucial warning.
She tells him this chilling story from her own past about her love, George. She says, love is different. If you change your mind, if you jump back and start seeing someone else, your first love will never love you again.
It's the only thing you can't do twice.
It's the one thing you can't perfect. You get one shot at real mutual love.
And yet, despite all that, they do find their way back to each other in the main timeline.
They do. They have this very unconventional wedding, tasting 4 elements.
Cayenne for passion, lemon for sourness, vinegar for bitterness.
And honey for the sweetness of getting through it all. It's beautiful, but their life gets complicated fast.
Alfie gets famous after stopping a bank robbery. Hollywood gets involved. He's in L.A. working on a movie script with an actress, Nicolette Pink.
And the pressure just gets to him. Gianna's pregnant, and he's struggling with a secret, with commitment. He's tempted by Nicolette.
He almost cheats on Gianna. He's in an elevator with Nicolette. He almost does it, almost uses the power to erase it, but he stops himself. He flies home.
But tragedy hits again anyway. They lose the baby to food poisoning.
And the source makes it clear. Another fated, unchangeable death.
Their relationship just collapses under the grief.
Yeah.
Months later, Alfie comes home and finds Gianna with her ex-boyfriend, Mike Kurtz.
And that's the breaking point. The betrayal, the exhaustion, the alcohol. He ignores his grandmother's warning.
He jumps back 3 years. And this time, he does sleep with Nicolette Pink. He spends 2 months with her.
And when he returns to the present,
Gianna's love for him is completely, irrevocably gone. Just like Yaya said it would be.
he sacrificed everything for nothing.
He spends the next few decades alone in Australia working as a handyman, a ripper, fixing other people's broken things. He has a stroke, gets his diagnosis, and has this moment watching the movie Alfie where he realizes he's become that lonely, pathetic character.
Which brings us full circle. Back to the interrogation room, back to that last do-over at the casino.
And this is his ultimate act of selflessness. He discovers that Gianna's ex, Mike Kurtz, was the one rigging the roulette game.
And here's the big twist.
The huge twist. In the original timeline, the one before Alfie's fatal jump, the police chase after Mike Kurtz's scheme resulted in Detective Laporta being crippled in a car crash.
The detective interrogating him.
The very same one. So Alfie's intervention stops the scheme and unknowingly saves Laporta from that fate.
And then he just impulse bets his winnings on Gianna's birthday, 28 black, and wins the $2 million by pure chance.
It's incredible. He wires the money to Gianna and some to an elephant sanctuary, putting Alorta's name on the paperwork as a final, quiet gift.
So Laporta questions Gianna, and she denies everything. She confirms his suspicion that Alfie's stories of their marriage were just the delusions of a dying man.
Alfie escapes, meets Gianna one last time at a place called the Queen's Staircase, tells her the whole crazy truth, and then he has his final stroke and dies in her arms.
A tragic but complete ending.
Except it's not the end.
The story gives us one last jump.
Gianna, heartbroken, reading his confession, she feels this surge of understanding. She squeezes her thigh, whispers, "Twice."
And she's instantly transported back to Gimbel's 1978.
She now has the power. And she is reliving Alfie's perfect sacrificed moment. Only this time, she knows the price he paid for it.
She chooses him.
She chooses him, knowing that the truth about true love is that it can wait a lifetime. Or two.
What a beautiful ending. Alfie spent his life trying to erase consequences, but he finally learned that's where the lessons are. He says if you keep getting second chances, you won't learn a damn thing.
Exactly. Real love, he learned, is about your one messy, unedited shot. So the question we'll leave you with is this. If you could erase your biggest mistake right now, would the relief be worth losing the lesson that mistake taught you? What invaluable knowledge would you be sacrificing?
Food for thought indeed.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoy the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, spread the word.